All right, guys, so let's just talk about this real quick. Eberly stock, their Fade series, I think is crazily popular for them. That's demonstrated by them dropping a new color today. They just released the color Steel in multiple products in the product line for the Fade series. I'm gonna talk about the Adapt bag, if it's something I think you should pick up. And I guess I could just tell you straight up and down, like if you want my bottom line up front on this Fade series Adapt bag, where it's 28 liters when it's collapsed, when you open up that scabbard, it becomes 40 liters. My bottom line up front is, if you think it's gonna be for you and you're okay with your own DIY organization, buy it. If you want a bag that has a little bit more organization inside, look at the Vertex Siege. They're both about the same size. And you can get the 35-liter version of the Siege, way more organization. And that's my recommendation. But if you want to know more about what I like about this bag, then let's stick with it. So first off, out on a ride. And you know, the crazy thing is that this bag is 28 liters when it's collapsed. You open up that bottle, and when it's collapsed, it can fit about a 10.5-inch barrel AR, you know. So no, you're not gonna have a can on there, stuff like that, right? But if you expand the scabbard, it becomes a 40-liter bag, and you can fit just a much longer rifle in there if you see fit. So I've primarily been holding mine at the 28-liter mark. I've taken this thing to the range, and I did expand it out so that I could try to slide my AR-10 in there. AR-10 is a little bit too long. That thing's like 38 inches. So the AR-10 didn't quite make the cut when it came to using this thing for its full capability when it came to the 40 liters. It has a structured bottom, and it does 100% have a very comfortable sternum strap, which is probably one of my favorite parts of it. This bag is definitely not like an everyday carry type of bag. I'm using this right now to do a run on my bike, heading down to grab some mail from my mail center. Now, the mail that I'm grabbing is a little bit bigger, so I wanted to grab something that was gonna be capable and able to handle it. So I grabbed this bag instead of driving my truck. But if you're gonna be taking this into a coffee shop, this is a little bit big for that. I really see this as being a very capable travel bag. Maybe it is your school bag. Maybe it's your bag that you use for your gym equipment and all that type of stuff. Everyday carry, maybe not, as mentioned before. I think it's just a little bit too big for that overall. Let's see, I guess we're on the cons list. So a little bit too big for everyday carry, but that's not really, I don't know if that's a con, but I will tell you one thing that's a con. This thing particularly, now Eberly Stock sent this out to me for a review. They're not paying me for this. And this is just an unfortunate circumstance that I have this bag and I'm comparing it to others. It's, for me, it's entirely too much of a blank slate. Once I get you guys back in the studio, I will explain a little bit more about how this bag just has absolutely, basically like no organization whatsoever. So if you're looking for the organization, if you're looking for the inside laptop sleeve, if you're looking for the inside, you know, a tablet sleeve, document holder, pencil holders, all that type of stuff, this is lacking in a lot of scenarios for stuff like that. Doesn't mean that it can't get better, but it is something to think about, that those things are not going to be represented when you're first taking a look at this. It might be something that you want to look at. All right. Next con, I will say that these shoulder straps are very comfortable, but I am very, very spoiled when it comes to shoulder straps because Go Rug bags exist. And because Go Rug bags exist, they're known for super duper thick foam padding in between the buildup of these shoulder straps. These are wide, so that's good at distributing the load, but when it comes to thickness, we like them thick, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what Mrs. X tells me. And so wider and thicker is better. Wideness wise, I would give these things an 8. It feels great. Thickness wise, I think we can go a little bit thicker. I think we can probably take this close to like 3/4 of an inch. That's just my opinion. You know, something to think about if you're thinking about that as well. I'm glad that this thing does include a sternum strap. The sternum strap itself is 100% easy to adjust, easy to hook on, easy to use, and all of that good stuff. So I guess that's my very short cons list. Let's talk about some pros. Pros, humongous. Okay, this goes directly against the cons. 40 liters, perfect travel bag. 28 liters, It's probably the upper limit of an EDC. I still don't think it's a good EDC, but 40 limits for a travel bag. Oh my God, yes. You want a freaking road trip. You want to take this on the carry-on luggage with you on an airplane. Yeah, this thing is going to be for you. This thing is going to be able to do that very, very easily. And overall, I think this thing looks really good. It's self-standing as well because it has a structured bottom. Very big YKK zippers. I've noticed that some other bags in the Fade series from Everly Stock don't have these big YKK zippers that these have. I think it's because this is the Adapt, and this thing can adapt very, very much so. I love the placement of the actual buckles on the outside. It's good for cinching the bag down more. It's good for holding an outside tripod or outside like camp chair, something like that. Also, I'm a big fan that this thing does not have outboard water bottle pockets. It's already a big bag, okay? 28 liters, 40 liters when expanded. The water bottle pockets would have just made this thing incredibly too big, just way too big in my opinion. Next, some people may ask themselves, why even get something out of the Fade series from Everly Stock? Well, at the end of the day, their series is definitely really good for the off-body carry of the CCW. This is going to be the biggest of the big when it comes to an off-body carry for the CCW. So if you're looking for something like that, if you're looking for an option for off-body carry, especially if you want to have your PBR, if you want to have an AR, if you want to have something like that, even like a shorter shotgun, then this is probably going to be a really good option for you. I think that it's still going to let you have the ability to carry your weapon off body, but carry other stuff as well. You need to bring your tech kit, you need to bring a laptop, you can buy their accessories. So if this is a DIY dream for you, if you're the type of person that's just a big old fan of doing your own organization, then this is going to be really good for that, because at the end of the day, you can basically do this thing exactly how you want it to be. For some folks, that's a con. For me particularly, I like for you to give me a little bit of organization and just let me work around it. And the happy median a lot of times does lie with other bags, but this bag on its own in a vacuum is basically doing exactly what they say. It's adapting. It's gonna adapt basically how you decide to make it adapt, not necessarily 100% just exactly how the manufacturer wants you to use it. Something else we definitely got to talk about is comfort. I mean, this bag, very comfortable. It just kind of, I don't know, even though it's a 28 liter bag, it does kind of sort of just melt away once it's on your back. I will say it's a sweat retaining monster. I can feel the sweat on my back building up. Now it probably is like a 90 plus degree day here in the Dallas Metroplex, but I can feel the sweat. We got the EcoFlow Rapid Pro desktop charger. Good customer service from EcoFlow, because my first one of these things completely shit the bed. The bag itself it doesn't have the lowest profile. I mean, you're looking at it from how it will look on a side angle on my back, and it's a big boy. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I don't think they're particularly worried about just a lower profile. I guess if you're going for the gray man aesthetic, it does kind of meet that. If you want to just be real, like overall, does it feel gray man-esque and stuff like that? Yeah, but it's pretty, every now and again, I don't even think gray man is a concern for people nowadays. Mainly because everybody and their mom has Molly on their bags. Everybody and their mom has tactical bags, whether it's multicam or black multicam or, camouflage or whatever the heck you got going on, digiprint. So I don't think people are too overly concerned about the gray man look, but does it feel pretty good? It feels fantastic no matter which way you decide to wear it. Like I said earlier, the steel color on these new Fade Adapt, they look really, really good. And obviously, I think that the Fade series is doing really good for Everly Stock, because we're seeing new color variations, which is normally an indicator that they're not selling poorly, right? So if you want to know more about it, let's just check it out here. So first, the very front of it, very slick, nothing going on in the front. You do have a pocket that's accessible in the front here, which is also slick, and it goes almost the entire length of the front of the bag. Good for quick items you may want to keep in there, like your
cell phone, maybe you want to put sunglasses, whatever. You see these cinches all on the side of the bag. These are good for compressing the bag down and making it smaller, but also it's very good if you want to use it for cases, if you want to run something up the side of the bag and then keep that item in here. That way you have quick access to it, like a tripod, maybe a larger rifle or a monopod, a scope, whatever you want to put on there as well. This is a self-standing bag. Even when empty, the bag will stand up. It is a structured bottom, which makes it very easy to use. And as mentioned before, you do have a pretty breathable bag with this like mesh on here with a little bit of padding. You will feel the sweat, you know, it was building up on me earlier, but it kind of is what it is with this size of a bag. You have a grab handle here so that when you're walking, it's easy for you to just kind of hold it next to yourself. No luggage straps on this, not really designed to be on top of a piece of luggage, but you could. An area where they definitely could have done better is going to be the grab handle. I could have done with something bigger, beefier, wider, but I don't want this to be an afterthought on bags. You can take a lesson from like Brown Buffalo and some of their big bags. Let me show you. See, like this Brown Buffalo standard issue, huge grab handle. When you compare it to this Eberly stock, I mean, they're just like night and day differences. Those little subtle things I think can be important to some folks if that's something that you want to take a look at. The very top of the bag, you do have a stash pocket, which is lined. So this might be a better suited area for your sunglasses or whatever you want to keep inside just to have quick access to for whatever reason you can put up there. And it's actually pretty big. I can even see putting a couple cell phones in there. It has like a lot of room. It might even be big enough for like an iPad mini or something like that. Once you unbutton this, actually before we jump into the main compartment, let's just talk about this rear area, which might be a good area if you want to keep a weapon or something like that. So the very back of the bag does have the T-puller. Now the T-puller zipper pull on Eberly stock bags is an indicator where you normally would want to put your weapon, but this zipper pull can be taken off and moved to another zipper if you see fit. Take this off, and then you're going to get access to the entire back of this bag. Now the entire back of the bag, this is loop lined on both sides, and it has a foam, a rigid back to it. I'm assuming that they are going to sell, whether it's Premier Body Armor or Spartan or somebody like that, is going to sell armor that's going to be compatible with this bag, because it does have an access area down here, which is normally where you will put that. But if you wanted to, you could also run a bladder back here or comms, because it does have a little slip area right here so that you can run up and out and down your shoulder strap some comms or a water bladder. And it has decent sized zippers. They almost look like number 12 size zippers themselves on this bag. While we're back here taking a look at the shoulder straps, they're pretty wide. Mentioned earlier, I wish they were fatter. Now to adjust the actual chest pull, you're gonna have to take this off and choose another loop. Whatever loop you're not using, you can use it for storage, a carabiner or whatever. I get why they did this, because having quick sliding access to this, if this is very, very full, these could slip on you for doing longer loads. But once you get this set up where you want it, you shouldn't have to move it because it's going to be adjusted for your chest. I'm glad they decided to not go with the quick drop shoulder straps like a lot of companies do. I haven't, since I was in the Marines, had a need to like quickly drop a bag off my back very quickly. But if that's something you're looking for, it's not going to be on this bag. You see the very slim cable keeps. This is a good system because you don't have to wrap it all up. You can just slide this up and down for any access that you're not using. So once you have that, you can get inside this bag, and it gives you a lot of access to just tons of stuff. And this is probably going to be one of the major selling points to this bad boy. So once inside, you're going to have the ability to go all the way down with this. And the thing I like about it is it's a ton of room inside. Just a big old opening for whatever you want to put in there. Full clamshell opening, which just makes a lot of sense for a bag of this size. So you can just kind of have it, put everything inside that you want. This is completely loop lined, so you can put your any type of organization panels that you want to put in here. The inside of the bag is completely loop lined as well. So big old lens I have in here. Now here is a pro or a con. It really just depends on your perspective for this particular bag. There is no organization on the inside of this bag beyond the laptop holder. So there's a laptop holder back here, which can take, I think, up to a 17-inch laptop. Thing is humongous. It is floating, okay? So you won't have to worry about your laptop bottoming out. It does float down there. And then it has inside water bottle pockets, which are big enough for an Nalgene size bottle. So you're gonna be putting your water bottle inside or whatever storage you want to put inside of this bad boy. And then you also have access to this other area in the very back of the bag, which is really gonna be suited. They have this built-in strap. This is really suited for you to put your AR in and then to secure your AR. But if you don't wanna use it for that, you can also use it for additional storage. This goes all the way down. And when you open up the scabbard, it makes it even more room for you to have inside. So you may say, X, what am I gonna do with this a big ass bag that doesn't have any storage inside of it? So Eberly Stock does sell a part of their Fade series. These are some of their blocker bags. So these are technically sleeves, right? So they do have the functionality of being able to hold a tablet or a laptop. And the thing about these is that once you put your items inside, they completely block all signals, okay? But you can buy these things, you can slap them inside of these bags, and then you have just this much more organized room. They have all sorts of different sizes of these that you can buy from their website. Or if you really want to, you can get stuff from like Brown Buffalo or 511 or Vertex. You don't have to just go with their stuff. But if you do have a larger weapon or larger item that you want to keep inside the bag, that's where this scabbard comes in. And then when you open this up, this is going to let you, with that slip pocket I showed you in the back, just have a very large weapon inside. And it dramatically increases. It goes from a 28 to a 40 liter very, very easily, which is like one of the biggest key selling points of this. This is like a very, I would say, God tier do-it-all bag minus that EDC component that I talked about earlier. But once completely exposed, you have this additional room. So now you have that larger AR. It's going to be able to come down here and stay completely hidden inside of your bag, and you can just wear this on your back still. That's the selling point for this bag. So for me personally, this is going to be a really good bag for when I'm going to the range. Just want to take some weapons with me. I want to wear it on my back. My current range bag is kind of more of a duffel style. This one's more of a backpack style. Makes a lot of sense for me. So you have to just think about if that's going to be something you want to check out. But I give this thing a very, very hard look if you're looking for something. But let's wrap this up.
You've seen my breakdown on the bag on its entire interior. I gave you my bottom line up front at the beginning of this video, whether or not I think that this is going to be a W purchase for you. Hey, listen, if you're okay with the price point, if you're okay with the features, you've already taken a look at competitors, whether it be stuff from Mystery Ranch, 511, VanQuest, maybe not so much. And they don't seem to really gonna be fitting your need, especially if you're ever gonna be off-bodying CCW. This is a definite W for you, okay? So if you're wondering about a review of this particular e-bike that I'm on, this is the Apis. I think they call this the C1 Max. This thing is pretty dope. See the C1 Max, C2 Max, they're basically the same bike. Biggest difference is one has a step through, one has a step over. Stay tuned for that as well, because I've been riding this thing quite a bit and I got my thoughts on that. When it comes to the Eberly Stock, another banger for their Fade series. They all seem to be knocking it out the park. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.